Hello, I'm Bernard Hickey from interest.co.nz and welcome to a special investing report brought to you in association with ASB. This is a story about a massive fraud. You might recall a 2020 cricket match in the West Indies last year where England played the West Indies. The prize was $20 million US. This was put up by a little known banker at that time, a Texan, a guy called Alan Stanford. He was actually called Sir Alan Stanford. He'd been granted the Sir title by the Antiguan government. He had a bank in Antigua. Actually, at that match, he was accused of fondling the players' wives. He later apologised. But I remember at the time, this guy sounds dodgy. Well, it turned out he was. This morning, the Securities and Exchange Commission in America accused Sir Alan Stanford of a massive fraud. It appears similar to the Bernie Madoff scandal, a Ponzi scheme. It seems he was falsely promoting certificates of deposit in his bank in Antigua, and he raised $8 billion. Overall, the group he runs manages $43 billion. It seems this bank was offering returns for 15 years at between 11.5% and 16.5%. Incredibly strong, stable, and not volatile earnings. Too good to be true, it has to be said. And even last year, it only declared losses of 1.3% when the rest of the market's down more than 30%. Again, too good to be true. Now this was all uncovered in public at least by a little-known analyst in Venezuela who wrote about it in an economics magazine and then in a blog. Subsequently, the Securities and Exchange Commission accused Stanford of a massive ongoing fraud, and it involves a vast majority of the portfolio managed by Stanford and one other colleague. Stanford says he'll fight to clear his name, but assets have been frozen and the receiver has been appointed. What does it all mean for us here in New Zealand? Well, it's interesting for a start, but it does reinforce some lessons we should learn. What method is the investment manager using? What is in their black box? What are they investing in? Will they tell you? Stanford didn't tell the people whose money he was looking after what he had actually put the money into. And also, how consistent are the returns? Are they too consistent and too high? Does it smell a bit fishy? And are the people involved publicly photographed with fancy women all the time and advertising sports events? You always have to be a little bit careful about financial executives promoting sports events, in their own right at least. So there we have it, a massive fraud involving the cricketing Texan billionaire, Sir Alan Stanford. I'm Bernard Hickey. That was a special investing report brought to you in association with ASB.